What up? Welcome to the 40th.
Oh
I
my
can't believe
God.
that.
The Sean Kemp episode.
Okay,
Sean Kingston
right on.
episode.
Oh,
Sean Kingston never wore number 40.
This is the 40th episode of the Back of the Class podcast. We are your hosts. I am the Esteban Serrano.
I'm Juan.
I'm Zach Dion.
That's right. And we are the Back of the Class. We got a dope episode. A little heavy, a little debatey, I think this one will be. Lil Wayne's Black Lives Matter or not comment. A final Tribe Called Quest album. The most underrated rapper and why. We'll get into that. And then in the Flex Zone, we're going to talk about this second Wonder Woman trailer that dropped. Whatever happened to, and of course end with our weekend playlist. Now, before we get into the topics of the day, if you have not subscribed to this podcast, we are 40 episodes deep.
What
we
are
ain't
you
going nowhere.
doing with your life?
You need to subscribe right now. If you've subscribed and haven't rated or left a comment, please do so other people can discover this amazing podcast. And without any further to do, let's get into this whole Black Lives Matter situation. Zach, you want to set this up? You want me to set this up?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I think we all saw when Lil Wayne went on ESPN a few weeks ago, and he was just they were asking him about Black Lives Matter, and he said there's no such thing as racism because he has a lot of fans, basically.
Who are white.
Right. He says, I see an audience full of white people. How can there be racism? Great.
All the eggs I buy at the supermarket are always good. Rotten eggs don't exist.
Right. That's a good analogy.
And so then Nightline did a thing with him this week, a segment, I think because he has his book out. And, like, this was the epitome of watching an interview with Lil Wayne and being like, you got too high for this one, man.
Right.
You should have pulled back a little. This is, like, a major network interview. A lot of people who still, like, literally don't even really know you are going to see this. And it was just so bad. I mean, like, she said she said, like, what do you think about Black Lives Matter and political climate lately? And he was like, what do you mean? And then she explained the fucking obvious.
Right.
And he started out okay by saying, why do you have to put a name on it? I think that's stupid. It's just somebody got shot by the police for a fucked up reason, was what he said.
Right.
But then it just, like, it got so bad from there. Like, this is the most. Lil Wayne's done a lot of bad things since he got out of prison, most of them musical, but this takes the cake, man, because he says, okay, I'm a young, black, rich motherfucker. If that don't let you know that America understand black motherfuckers matter these days, I don't know what it is. And
Right.
he's like, that cameraman filming me is white. I don't know what you mean. It was bad. And then he became really disrespectful to her, too. I mean, the money quote for me was like, he said, don't come at me with that dumbass shit, man. My life matter, especially to my bitches. And then he looks at the camera and winks.
Right. So I think I will not at all defend him, but what his defense was that he was very
He thought he was shooting a music video.
No, he was very disrespected in his opinion when the woman asked about his daughter being referred to as a bitch or a hoe. Now, what she said was, the question before that was, about his music being misogynistic and disrespectful toward women.
That old chestnut.
To which he said, if you take it that way, then that's how you feel about it. That's not how I, that's
but
not how I see it.
He said that's what made me what I am. It's that.
It's what
and
made
it
him
sold
what he
a
is.
lot of records.
So then when she turned the question on him, okay, well, if you don't feel it's being misogynistic or whatever, what if your daughter is called that? Then he got upset because never would he want his daughter to be called he calls women.
He didn't even seem upset. He was just automatically reflects like, no, I wouldn't tolerate it.
Right.
And then he tells TMZ later that after she said that, he started not taking anything seriously.
Right. However, said his life only matters to his bitches.
This is like
Put
one
a
of the
button
things
on
that
it.
drives me insane
With the
about
bitches.
today, where people just don't think before they open their mouth, post on social media. Like, number one, I don't know who his manager or his handler is, but they should be fired.
He has none.
Oh,
Right,
so then
yeah.
there you go.
I don't think that role could even exist.
But like
probably.
he's not done interviews in the past because of exactly this. So he has to walk in knowing that they're gonna have plenty of ammo, questions wise, to ask him.
Especially a news
Mhm.
outlet.
Right.
But like the whole thing about him saying like, oh, it's fine, I could call people whatever you want. If you interpret it that way, it's whatever. It boils down to the whole, and not to get political, but the whole Trump locker room talk. Like every Trump supporter was like, come on, it's just locker room talk. But then when you're like, what? But somebody says that about your daughter, wouldn't you be pissed? Well, yeah. I'm like, well, then that's just.
Then it doesn't
It
matter
d-
what
it
room
doesn't-
you're in.
And like, for him, it's like, dude, it doesn't work that way.
Right. Right.
It's
Now,
just, it's just that's just how it works.
which poses the question, and this is really what I wanted to discuss with you guys. Do we expect too much from rappers who are successful, who are of a certain level of influence? Do we expect too much of them when it relates to this type of music? And the reason that I bring that up is because Ninth Wonder went ham on Twitter. And on there, he was saying how it's interesting how when rappers make political statements in their music, no one wants to hear it. But when rappers make or don't make political statements in interviews, then everyone goes ham on them. And it's like, so do you want them to speak politically? And if so, support it when they do it musically. Don't expect it in an interview. Like, do we hold them to too high a standard?
I mean, I think it boils down to kind of what the media aspect of, if a rapper says something in a song, the people who are going to know and hear that are the people who are actively searching for that music, right? He's saying this interview on national, what was this, like Nightline, right?
Yeah.
National television. And it's the media animal or the fucking beast, man. As soon as that's like, I'm sure the minute he started talking this way, in her head, she's like, I got him.
Gold.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Gold.
When it's somebody in a song, it's not,
Gracias,
it's not, it
Louis.
doesn't spread like wildfire. So it's like, oh, this dude said this in a song. But when you go to a casual person, like, oh, did you hear Lil Wayne said in a song? I was like, who gives a shit? It's a rap song. They say all this shit.
Right, they
but when it's
dismiss
like a sit down interview and then you could just cut that bite and share it and post it and talk about it and debate it, I think it's two separate, it's the dichotomy is there. Now, to answer the question about do we hold them to like a certain, me personally, I don't care.
Right.
That's one man's opinion.
Right.
You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to disagree with it. That's his opinion. He's entitled to it. As a whole, I do feel that when it's convenient, people do hold them up to a standard, and when it's not, they don't.
Boom. They use it as a scapegoat sometimes. I agree with that. What do you think, Zachary?
Why is he being so defiant about this?
Lil Wayne,
Why?
from what I've noticed in a lot of the previous interviews that I've seen with him, and if you can just Google like Lil Wayne angry interviews,
Yeah.
and you'll get a kick out of it because it's super immature and a lot of ignorance. But Lil Wayne doesn't like to do interviews. Therefore, Lil Wayne should never do them.
I agree.
If his music is his only focus, then everything you need to say needs to be done through your music. Get your words out. Then you're thinking about it. You're putting it down. It's a process. When he was sitting there having this conversation with this woman and she offended him,
In his eyes,
all hell broke loose. He said, I wasn't thinking about anything she said or I said after that point where she referred to my daughter as a bitch or a hoe, which actually never happened.
exactly.
So, like, I just think, like, if that's not your strong suit, if you are not trained or if you don't know how to recognize when you're about to make an ass of yourself, then don't do them. How many artists have we interviewed that don't want to do any press? No matter if we're here to talk about their stuff.
Or yeah.
If they're not good, then it's like, why did you waste my time? At least that's how I feel.
But it's also, it boils down to basic common sense, right? Like, you're sitting in front of a reporter for Nightline,
Right.
for national television.
Right.
Try to process what you're about to say before you say it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know, like, whenever I'm gonna share anything or retweet anything
Right.
or post anything, I think about it at least like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
And I guarantee you 90% of the public do not do it, including Lil Wayne.
Now, here's another issue with that is, and this is very telling in his statement when he said that racism doesn't exist because I sold 1 million records and his white fans, and then he went on to say, that white man behind the camera, he's filming my black ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bubble that he lives in, there is no common sense in that bubble.
But
there's no consequences in that bubble either.
Whatsoever.
So, there's no consequence for it. And
What-
I'm like,
Well, it's also one thing has nothing to do with the other. Like in his head, racism is just divisiveness between races, right? That's what he's saying. I think in his mind, racism just means that white people and black people can't coexist, which is not. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, this black guy, so white guy right here shooting me. There's no racism. He's white. I'm black. White guy could be a racist of all shit, but he's there doing his job.
Right,
You don't know that. I think in his mind,
the cameraman's like, I'm very racist.
yeah.
very racist.
Like in his mind, I
you're
think
so out of focus right now. It's not even funny.
I think in his mind, racism means something that to the rest of us is not what his meaning is. That's why he says dumb shit like, yeah, I have a bunch of white fans. You don't even know. Your white fans might be racist as shit and still like the way your music sounds. Like, it's not.
But he has such a history with police too, and that's
Yeah.
such a cornerstone of Black Lives Matter. Is like police just keep killing black people.
Right.
Like it doesn't see like that's why I'm saying why is he so defiant? Because who is he like protecting and who is he speaking against when he
He's
does
honestly, what I've, kind of gathered from this, like the many other interviews, Lil Wayne doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like interviews. Therefore, you piss him off, he's going to lose his shit.
Yeah.
He's not trying to protect anybody. He doesn't have anything against. He wasn't thinking about the many countless times. He wasn't thinking about his time and where he got profiled here in New York.
Yep.
Which led to him spending a year in Rikers. Like, he didn't think about any of that stuff. He thought about, I hate this stupid conversation. I'm going to ruin it,
Yeah.
and because I don't feel like doing it. But
And nobody prepped him. A publicist, a manager.
bro, how
You say
many
he
times
doesn't
did I
have
tell you?
any.
He ain't got none
I know,
of them
but like
people.
that person would have been like, yo, show me the questions first. He hates doing interviews. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like he was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And then they're like, oh, he doesn't want to see the questions in advance? Shh, let's go, open season. I think that would have helped.
I remember getting an assignment here at Fuse, flying from New York to Los Angeles while Lil Wayne was filming a music video. I don't remember what video it was, but it was whatever videos on the Vegas Strip. Waiting there on set for, I want to say we may arrived at around 1, and it was around 1 in the morning. 12 hours I sat on set, saw him a bunch of times, never got an interview. Wound up leaving because we'd waited for 12 hours and not even a peep. Mind you, music video sets, the artist is actually working maybe for 10, 15-minute intervals between hours of waiting for new sets to get erected, to get lighting, touch-ups, moving lenses, a bunch of walkthroughs that don't include them. So there was plenty of time. In that 12 hours, I want to say there was 11 and a half hours where he was available, just didn't want to talk. So, like, that's the extent. He hates interviews.
Right.
He should not do them anymore, especially when you are going to so easily be offended and completely make yourself look like a complete moron. Because another thing that I saw trending yesterday was the amount of people who were disgusted by what he said and are no longer going to support him. So thank God racism doesn't exist, Lil Wayne, because all your white fans are still going to be there rocking with you. But you lost a lot of black ones yesterday
The ones
with
who had
your
left,
statement.
basically.
Well, we'll see where it goes from here.
We shall see. Now let's go on to some more exciting news.
Yes.
We are going to receive a final Tribe Called Quest album, which we have already been told consists of newly recorded music, not old stuff that they're blowing the dust off of.
With all parties involved, which is the important part, because you're always waiting to hear, oh, but this person's on it. Oh, but this person has nothing to do with it. Or this person's not producing.
Yeah.
Everyone's in it.
New album except for this person, and that's whack. But I was kind of excited about it. I thought it was going to be a great situation, and then I heard Jerobi, and I didn't read into it. I just saw a headline that said Jerobi says that the final Tribe album is what killed Phife Dawg, and I was like, well, damn.
Yeah, what the context of that was he said they were doing a lot of traveling, like across the country,
Right.
And he thinks that like wore him out.
Damn.
And the article was like, there's some suspicion within the group that this led to his decline in health, but Jerobi puts it simply, as the writer said. He just said, I think this album killed him, and he said, I think he wanted it that way. Like, I think he wanted this to be, if he was going to burn himself out, if he was going to push it to the limit, that he wanted it to be. And I mean, this article in the New York Times is like very long, it has beautiful photos, but a lot of it just kept coming back around to like that Phife Dawg was having like a really fun time. They said he was having more fun than they've seen since he was like a little kid.
Right.
He would like hear a new beat and be like, "You send it to me. I'm so excited about it." So it sounds like, and just talking about the chemistry and stuff in the studio, like Busta Rhymes was like just gushing about what he was seeing in there.
Right.
He said it was like watching people who can't believe they get to do this. So
that makes me even more excited to hear the material, and like, which is why like this conversation will lead into our next conversation about the most underrated MC, because a lot of people forget that like one of the early adopters of the catchy punchline, like the metaphor, like, you know, you bust a nut on your couch and now you got Siemens furniture, like that. Phife was that dude initially early on when rap was just starting to become more lyrical and, you know, topical and things of that nature. He was one of the dopest wordsmiths. So I can't wait. If he, you know, was excited and energized again, I can't wait to hear, you know, what he put his heart into, literally, you know, for his last hurrah. Another question I have, though, is consequence involved in this album?
Yeah, because when Q-Tip first released the Twitter like written
the note
of the, you know, announcing the album, he said Cons, you know, Busta, everyone's in the studio, like everyone pitched in.
Right.
So yeah, because like I guess he knew like everyone's gonna ask, oh, but is Consequence or is Busta gonna, you know, like everyone is waiting for that shoe to drop. Because we've seen this before where it's like, you know, reunion tour, reunion album, and you're like, oh, without the drummer or without the DJ or without the fucking, you know, producer.
But because, I mean, the reason I bring that up is because not everyone associates Consequence with Tribe Called Quest, because he was never mentioned as an official Tribe member, although he's on a lot. I think he said he's on more songs than Jerobi or one of the other mainstays of Tribe. Wow. He's on more music with Tribe Called Quest than he is. So I just thought it would have, you know, kind of been.
I hope it's in, you know, a Tribe Called Quest vein with the fun, the wordplay, and the cool, funky beats and the conscious stuff. Agreed. I hope it's not new school, let's sing or let's like.
I cannot,
because I feel like a lot of people have fallen into that trap where
trying to make a contemporary album.
Yes, and that makes you go away from there's a difference between being Frank Ocean, where you just go in another direction because you're experimenting and you're just like looking for new frontiers, and then there's we need to make something that's gonna get radio play, and that the current audience is gonna gravitate to, because that's where a lot of artists fuck up, basically.
Right.
So I don't think it's gonna happen because Q-Tip is super smart and has a good pulse of shit. But that fear does lie in there, where you listen to the first one and you just hear like a lot of singing, and you just like, or like just something that sounds like everything else that sounds like today is gonna be kind of disheartening. But at least at least it's just them rapping.
I think with the success of the Daylight album that just came out, I think
that was a good step in the right direction.
Exactly.
And they were smart to keep it
keep it
to
so
what,
De La
you know,
Soul, right.
The formula's not broken. Like, you got to the dance doing something. Don't, what's the word, Zach, the writer? Don't, damn it. Don't conform.
Yeah, there you go. Don't conform.
Yeah, I'm picturing a world where it's really good and gets into a lot of conversations and pleases people who like hip hop today too, hopefully.
Right.
It's got it's got 3 Stacks, Kendrick, Busta, as we already said. And it's got some weird ones. It's got Elton John and Jack White. So it sounds exciting, definitely.
Definitely.
It comes out. It's a great title too. It's called "We Got It From Here." Thank you for your service, which they said Fife named it, and they don't know why he named it that. And it's coming out November 11th, so a week from when you're hearing this.
Wow, that's right.
And it's been 18 years since their last album. So,
man, now,
1998 was the last time.
What I'm hoping, this is completely me being a hip hop nerd / like, I don't know, wish list, bucket list type stuff. What I'm hoping is that this album is in the true vein of a straight up Tribe album, and we get a Native Tongues album, which is the supergroup that they had back then with Moni Love and Queen Latifah and the Jungle Brothers and De La.
That's an undertaking and a stretch.
Holy
It's a nice
cow.
prospect to have, but that's
This is like the Marvel universe right now. If De La Soul comes out with an album, and then following up that album is a Tribe
it's a
album.
resurgence.
And if Moni Love and Queen Latifah get back together and they do an album, and then if the Jungle Brothers do an album, and then they do a huge Avengers type album, boom.
Well, don't hold your breath.
Let's do it.
Right, yeah. We just put that in motion.
Yeah.
All right, last topic in the music section and or category. And Juan, I credit you for coming up with this. Earlier this week, you had mentioned, and I forget what the rapper was, who the rapper was, but you were like, yo, such and such is the most, like, one of the most underrated rappers ever.
I think it was Big Sean. Was it Big Sean?
No, it definitely wasn't Big Sean.
Because I know I've been listening to a lot, like, Big Sean lately.
Or maybe it was Big Sean.
I think it is Big Sean.
I think it was Big
'Cause
Sean.
He did just come back.
Because he did just come back, but also we were having a conversation where, because I do feel like a lot of the rap trends that are big now, he started and did not get the credit for it. He would say on songs that he started, but nobody paid attention.
I agree.
And I feel like, obviously, this is my pick for this section, is Big Sean. There's a lot more I could think of, but since he came back, he's the first one that popped in my head.
Right.
Because I feel like he's always kind of not in the background, but he's always on the good music train. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy
He's a team
for
player.
him to get It's easy for him to get lost when you have Kanye in front of you, when you have Pusha T in front of you, when you have not better than him, but you have 2 Chainz in front of you, who's a bigger star and just a pop mainstay.
Right.
But I think a lot of the stuff that he's contributed to today's style, where the punchline comes way after the setup and the cadence, and I feel like he's very underrated. He is regarded by his peers, because like I've even heard Eminem, Eminem gives him a lot of props,
right?
And Eminem doesn't really throw those around a lot.
Nope.
He's said in multiple occasions like that Big Sean's one of his favorite rappers. But I feel like when he has come out and said, like, dude, like the way Drake raps half the time, like I came up with that shit. But nobody gave it play because why? Because it's Drake and his fans don't want to hear that shit. And number 2, they don't believe it because they're his fans.
Right. You know what's ill is that I was in the studio with Big Sean, and I had that conversation with him about Drake. I was like, bro, like he's straight took your entire style before you were able to shine on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, but I got so many of them.
Right.
I mean, and it's proven. That conversation took place in 2010. It's 2006, and we're talking about Big Sean right now.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
this
a credit
was
to him.
before Finally Famous album. This was like the third Finally Famous mixtape or second Finally Famous mixtape when I was in the studio with him.
But
True.
the best part about that was when he first came out and he was doing that, he was getting shit on a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And people were calling him Medium Sean, and like
Right.
he was getting all this hate on the internet. But
Until,
guess what?
like,
Everyone's favorite rapper just took it and ran with it. Even old school rappers who,
Yep.
like Nas did it a couple of times, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh shit, Nas is starting to like take
Right.
and use it as well.
Right.
So that's why I feel he's underrated, because I don't think he gets the props he deserves for
But
that.
Nicki and Drake definitely get more of the
Oh,
props
yeah.
for using those.
100%.
It's going down. Basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he
That's a Big
and if you
Sean.
listen to Sean records, like
Boy,
his wordplay is like it's dope, and his ability like to tell stories and show them like like on the last album,
Making
like
sure
skyscrapers, like
right.
when he does. Remember we were talking about Drake last week when he's doing those bars, but like there's no structure. He's just like
Right,
spitting and
right,
spitting and
right,
spitting,
right.
and he doesn't let anything breathe. Sean does it, but you understand everything
It's
and
so
you
clear.
digest it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
True.
saying?
It's
So like,
clear.
and I don't
Crystal
think he
clear.
gets the credit again because he's in good music.
Right.
And there's just other rappers in the forefront, but that's my pick, Big Sean, and I can't wait to listen to his new shit because
Yeah.
he got a lot of shit to say.
Woo!
He gave a little taste of like the whole thing with his ex, and even talking about Cuddy.
Right.
So like his last shit was, I loved his
Oh, yeah.
last
Yeah,
his
Dark Sky
album. So
Paradise
I
was
can't wait to
amazing.
hear his
Finally amazing.
his new shit. What do you guys got? Who's your underrated?
Go to you next.
I'm going to keep it very Philadelphia.
I
And
knew
I'm not
it.
doing this because
I know exactly
that's where
who
I'm
it is.
from. I'm so not doing this because this is where I'm from.
We'll see.
But I am saying, and if you don't agree with me, then you absolutely hate hip hop. Black Thought is
100%.
the most
Oof.
underrated MC ever of all time.
I feel like he's topped that list for the last 20 years.
And when I say this, listen, man, we don't hear Black Thought. If we hear of him, we hear the Roots.
Mm-hmm.
The Roots, the group, bigger than the MC Black Thought. However, the reason you don't hear Black Thought as an MC is because rappers don't want to rap with Black Thought, because Black Thought will rap you under a table. I was having this conversation with my son, who's 9 years old, and who is training to be an MC. When he showed interest in hip hop, I started to give him little homework assignments of what makes a dope MC. I don't want him to be a rapper. I want him to have something to say, and I want him to find his own way of executing what he's saying. And the one thing, or the way I explained Black Thought to him was, if he were a superhero, his superpower or ability is bending words to match his rhyme scheme. And I forget what song it was, but like he'll say stuff like naturally instead of naturally, and it won't impede on his delivery, his flow pattern. As the listener, you understand what he meant, and even the way that he changed that word, you respect it because it was like, oh, like you felt like, I know why you did it, and it made it even iller that you expressed exactly what you wanted to say in a different, by bending another word.
And
to
it's
fit.
something that is not easy to pull off. 'cause
At all.
There's very few, like the only person who has that skill is M, because
I
M
agree.
is highly regarded for being able to do shit like that.
Exactly.
And it's not easy. And Black Thought was probably doing it before M
Way
started doing it
before M.
So I'm 100%.
And I'm not taking anything away from Eminem.
No,
Because
sure,
Eminem
absolutely.
is a student of hip hop. So, Black Thought, dude, I promise you, every year, and we talked last week or maybe the week before about how amazing Andre 3000 is as the greatest feature rapper, whatever. But in terms of the best verse, anytime Black Thought is on an album or the Roots drop an album, my favorite verse, the best handwritten rap verse of the year is always a Black Thought verse. Just because that man is insanely prolific.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, his freestyle game, straight off the top of the head freestyle, not like some shit I wrote and I'm going to say it to a different beat, to impress you. No, he's rapping about whatever is crossing his mind at the time. He is unparalleled.
Another attribute that not very
That
many
not
people
many
could pull
have.
off. Who you got, Zach?
Underrated within hip hop, but at least he's on Fallon every night.
Hey,
and
no, he's
getting
getting
people
his-
who don't even, getting a lot of
Exactly.
people to be like, wow, that's
I'm-
about as good of a rapper as
right.
you could get.
Right,
And
exactly.
to his credit, still with the roots, because any other egotistical
yeah.
rapper
Yeah.
who was
Would've been
that good
gone.
would have been gone.
Because he deserved, like when during the time of Mos Def, I agree, a genius. During the time Talib was being touted, Common being touted, all these great MCs were being touted. None of them are as talented as Black Thought, in my opinion. Some of my favorite rappers, not Black Thought. And you're right. For him, he could have gone and jumped on a Kanye beat, jumped on a Ninth Wonder beat, jumped on a Just
Or
Blaze
just done-
beat,
yeah, just-
and did everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
But he stuck with the crew.
Yeah, no, they stick together.
And I
And
gotta
they
love him
still
for
put
that.
stuff out steady. They've still been doing like concept albums,
Right.
real relevant. So yeah,
There it is.
He's got a
That's-
lot of-
That's my.
Did you already say in that, or do you have a quick answer of why you think he gets buried like that
I think.
in
Well,
the conversation?
I think he gets buried in the conversation because the roots are bigger
Okay.
than the MC,
The Roots get buried too, though.
and the roots get
They
buried.
do.
Yeah.
But they started a whole lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and that's another topic for another day.
But they're respected by their peers.
But they're
which,
respected
Mhm.
by everyone.
and they're all well off because like you said, Fallon, and they've done like albums in the
And they
past,
can
they
tour
do gigs. Yeah,
forever.
Mhm.
But they also like, a rapper wants to do live band, get the Roots,
Right.
Like Jay did.
The Illadelphonics has to be your backup
Mhm.
because they're the best in the business.
It's also something that is so rare nowadays. It's fucking called loyalty, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen.
Mhm.
That's an old school theme.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
So
So yeah, it sucks with him because they've been around so long that it's like is something ever gonna change that underratedness versus like we're talking about Big Sean. He's still kind of more and more on the come up in terms of his reputation.
sure.
Right. And I feel like it's a blessing for him because I've come across Tariq, aka Black Thought, many a time in many a different city, and his ability to just live a normal life, as normal as you can live in those settings and environments, I think is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's important to it's probably more important to him than being
It has to be.
charted out on an airplane because he's so big he
Exactly.
can't be seen. So
Exactly.
also, like when you throw around underrated, it's like there's a lot of underground rappers that are better than probably Big Sean, like
Right.
I just mentioned, or shit
Right.
you don't even know, like
right.
Black Thought. But like we're talking about underrated in the consciousness of like just the surface of
Right.
rap.
People who've been here, people who
Yeah.
have a sustained
Yeah.
career.
Because when it comes to
underrated.
underground, I could name you at the top of my
Right.
head like my favorite rapper. Like I have my greatest of all time favorite,
Right.
which is like Biggie, L, and Eminem. But like my favorite rapper to listen to is Murs,
Right.
right? And I think he's better than 98% of the
Right.
rappers
I
out
agree.
there. I saw Megaran last week do that
Right.
freestyle where he
Holy
freestyles
cow,
what people
man.
have in their pockets when they hold it up.
Oh my god.
And you can't name me 5 rappers who can do that.
I can't name you three.
So like
rappers
there's
that can-
layers to underrated, but like just to give everyone the scope of like, yes, you probably know a rapper that no one knows about who is
Right.
probably amazing,
Right.
but like Zach.
All right, so we are not talking about the Atlanta finale today because we got to catch up. But Donald Glover, man, Childish Gambino,
I agree.
It
Yep.
makes me very uncomfortable with how many people are talking about Atlanta as like one of the best things they've ever seen and how it's so important, so good, how he's bringing this thing that is so unique.
Right.
Look, his show might be better than his rap career as a whole,
Right.
but like
Let's not forget.
people have aggressively underrated him the
I
whole time.
I
And
agree
it's
too.
like he started out, he was very jokey. He did 5 mixtapes before he did an album, 5 mixtapes
Right.
and an EP. He was very jokey. His voice was very annoying. You could hear like the Lil Wayne and Jay-Z influences,
He
like
also
100%.
wore really, really low shorts. Like no jokes. Like the first time I saw him was on paid dues,
Mhm.
or Rock the Bells, one of those festivals out in California, and I really was there because
Oh,
I
yeah.
was assigned to shoot B-roll of it, not because I wanted to see the set. And I knew of him from his comedic background in Community and writing for 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't take him seriously whatsoever. And then I got there, and his shorts were so short, like his pockets were lower than his.
Yeah.
So I was like, "You're really not a rapper." But then I started to
But
hear his
then,
music
yeah.
in passing a lot more, and I'm like, I would hear, and I'm like, "Yo, what's that?" Childish. So hear something else, what's that? I was like, okay, I gotta take this kid serious.
Yeah, and it's like he's worked with this guy who he worked on music on Community. His name's Ludwig. He has stayed with that guy as his producer. They make such interesting stuff together. I mean, he just got so buried because of Drake, like once again with Big Sean, because people didn't want there to be two rapper singers out there talking about their feelings. Like that was people. There could only be one.
No, he came
it's
out
horrible.
And when he came out with Camp, I always forget Drake numbers, but like Marvin's Room was like the biggest shit in the world.
Right.
And then Childish came out with Camp, and that had Heartbeat on it, and Marvin's Room completely eclipsed.
Right.
Heartbeat, which is an amazing fucking song, sonically, lyrically, content wise.
Man.
I love Childish, and I do agree with you 100%. He is underrated. He did stuff a lot that I always didn't like that he did. Like he would harp on subjects a little too much about just like the short things he would mention like every other song, and being picked on because he was too white for the black crowd, which I totally get.
Right.
But he harped on it too much. Where I was just like, all right, dude, I get it. That's the fourth song you reference this little gripe you have. But his ability to write a beat is up there.
Yes.
His punchlines 100% up there. And just content-wise, stimulating, saying shit that makes you think. Like
He's a very good singer too.
He is a very good singer.
That song
Right.
"Sober," that was kind of a hit. Like he's just his creativity. Like he's not the best rapper. Every album he'll probably do until the end of time will have shit that annoys me.
Right.
But like because the internet was such a cool album, so conceptual. He put out this mixtape called Royalty before that, but that like I don't even know if
that mixtape.
Okay, yeah, because nobody even knows it exists. It has
that
Danny
mixtape.
Brown rapping to "Toxic" by
Yeah.
Britney Spears. On.
he has Beck on that album.
Beck, yeah, he has Time.
He has Bun B on that album.
Right.
On
Yeah,
they remix fucking Kaczynski's Night Call, and I still have it on my phone. Not only because I love that beat from Night Call, but
Right.
because him and Bun B killed that
And-
song.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like either his stuff gets ignored or derided. Like he also made his last thing was this mixtape that was called Stone Mountain, paired with a EP called Kawhi, and Kawhi was all pop stuff, singing. Stone Mountain was all like hard Atlanta rap stuff. Like he was rapping over like "Move That Dope." He did "Go DJ." He like reworked "You Don't Have to Call." It was just so. I just love him, and it. Why? If I don't know about this reaction to Atlanta and the reaction to his music, it's like, oh, where were you then? What were you actually saying then? I know
But
you
you know
were
what?
talking.
I
shit.
feel like he suffered a lot from. He didn't sing a ton on Camp. He sang hooks like on Heartbeat, but it wasn't like a singy record because the ending was very singy, and that's again where I feel like he tried to match
What was
that
going
wave,
on?
what was going on, and you're 100% right. He got lost in the Drake wave because like who does it better than Drake sings to the women? Nobody.
Right.
And he got lost in that, and I feel that's why a lot of water knowledge, but that's why he's buried under that wave because that the surface of that. And then J. Cole came, like there's a lot of reasons, and
But I also at one point he was fed up.
yeah.
He was fed up. And we're talking about a J. Cole who had a machine Def Jam behind him. We're talking about a Drake who was the biggest star on the planet at the time.
Yeah, he's
You know
on
what I'm saying?
Glass Note. I mean,
Like
yeah,
he's
you know.
he's on a super indie label, and he was fed up with media, especially. I remember he wasn't doing interviews. He didn't want to talk to anybody. That didn't help.
I interviewed him
propel
twice, and I hope to get him because we had a great when he first released. He put out like a regular track called "Eat Your Vegetables," which I interviewed him for it, and he told me, because I was like, yo, so you sampled Donkey Kong Country, huh, for Super Nintendo? He's like, yo, you're the first person to fucking say that to me. And that's just because I'm a nerd, but he's a nerd, because he like talks about Toe Jam and Earl and like Genesis games, which is probably another thing that he might have suffered from, was getting too nerdy sometimes, where that could turn off the casual hip hop slash female who didn't grow up playing video games. You know, there's a lot of factors of why he got buried and he's underrated. But like you said, like those interviews were great interviews, super cool. But I did see after a while, it was just like he would just pass on interviews and just not do it anymore.
Well, he debuted an album at like a festival he created around the album at the end of the summer. It was like right the same week Atlanta was premiering. People who were there said it was crazy. I don't know when we're gonna get it, but like hopefully soon. And also just footnote, like the visuals. He's really good with the visuals. Oh
my goodness, man!
So
that short film he did that had dude, the short film he did was great.
It's called Clapping for the Wrong Reasons, and it's so
man,
good.
Trinidad James, there's a porn star, Bella Sommerother. She was in it. She and him did a lyric video together where they were just like chatting, but the lyrics were the chat, like between the two of them. Like he's just so smart with the visuals.
He's
like,
super intelligent.
And let's recap: this dude is a dope MC. He's a great singer. He's a hilarious comedian. He's a great actor. He's an accomplished writer already for television. You know, whatever. Like,
and he could only get up because he just got casted to play young Lando in fucking Star Wars.
He's in the new Spider-Man. He might be on his way.
Yeah.
You know what too? Like what makes Atlantis so good too is that everything you just mentioned that makes him so good. That's what that show is. It's funny. It's conscious.
It's hip hop.
It's hip hop as like if you listen to the music supervision on that show, it should get nominated for something because the supervision.
That's a great point.
And the visual. I mean, obviously the visuals, the directing is great, but like he produces it, writes it, content. Like everything we just encompass of what makes him good is what you see in that show.
And it has to be a testament to his influence that on FX he's managed to do this. It ain't the FX audience that's watching. It's the Glover audience. It's the childish audience. And so for him to be able to pull that many people to watch, then get hooked and it go viral, so to speak, as viral as television can get, it's a testament to the following that he's been able to amass.
I love that he's getting this moment.
That love right now.
Yeah, good for him.
Word.
Word.
All right, let's move on to the Flex Zone.
Let's go. We didn't do whatever happened to, so let's go to that.
No, that's the last.
Spoiler.
I already set up that we're talking about Wonder Woman. You can't just cancel Wonder Woman.
Well, fine.
Anyway, the Wonder Woman trailer came out. Any
Way
thoughts?
better than the last one.
Way better than the last one. What do you think, Zach?
I think it looks like DC made a movie that has like actual colors in it, not just gray tones.
Isn't that sepia?
Yeah. Was Suicide Squad like that? I mean, they made it look like it was going to be colorful, but I think when it actually came out, it was
pops of color, but it was a very dark movie.
There with like Batman.
They're releasing the
Superman,
extended version of Suicide
style.
Squad, which is good because if you watch that, you're kind of gonna see what it was,
what it's supposed to have been.
They panicked because of Batman vs Superman. I mean, I like the Wonder Woman trailers, both that I've seen so far. It's just like anything else, bro. Like you just don't know if DC's learned their lesson or if they're still in panic mode. For me as a person who knows the character, I hate the fact of getting an origin story because I know it already, and they just OD on origin stories. But I understand why you have to do it because not everyone is a diehard. So far it looks good. I love her. I've said it before. I love her as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She's great.
It's just it remains to be seen if it's gonna be.
She might. Good. Maybe she can like carry this movie, to make it rise above the other DC movies because she's probably the most interesting, that actress / character that I'm most interested in and what they've got going on.
And I don't think she's
now.
ever carried a movie, so she's coming out with a movie with John Hamm where like they play like a couple who's like secret agents and they move next door to like, mom and pop or whatever, and she's like obviously the second star in the movie after John Hamm. So that kind of could give you like, all right, she has the chops to carry a movie because this movie Wonder Woman is gonna be, she's like. Obviously, Captain Obvious here, but she's carrying that movie, so it's good. if you watch that, it might be a good precursor to see if she can carry a whole movie.
I was very surprised they hit the bullet time twice in the trailer. Like, we're going back to bullet time
Right.
like, as an exciting thing to
Right.
show twice.
And that brings me to my opinion on this, and I'm hoping that I'm completely 100% wrong. I think this is going to suck. I think it's going to bomb.
You got reason to believe.
I think it's going to suck
based on the
because DC has not really done anything good in a while. But I also think it's going to suck because the expectations of it are really high because they know how to hype train the shit out of something and not yet deliver. And I also think it's going to bomb or tank because, unfortunately, it's a female-led superhero movie. I don't think guys are very interested in it. Is she hot? Absolutely. Is she supposedly the strongest superhero, in the universe? Absolutely. But I've already seen some lovey-dovey bullshit that I don't like. I've already seen that, and like it gives me very Greek god, Roman goddess, like
she's
Greek
based
mythology.
on she's based on
vibes, and I don't like that shit either. I just don't think it's gonna.
I agree with it might not do well because it's a woman
Right.
superhero, which sucks.
Which absolutely
it
sucks.
fucking sucks.
My wife is super hype about this
but that's
movie.
just like my daughter was Wonder Woman for Halloween.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks, but that's just the world we live in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't agree that they'll. I don't agree with what you said about like, oh, like they're gonna hype it up and it's not. Because actually, I think the hype is at all time low because of the track record from Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman. So there's no way you can sell this being that hype when the last two have been duds like they have. So I feel like that might make it. If you watch it, be like, all right, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be going. After these two. Having said that, I hope it does great. I think it'll do good numbers because it's at the end of the day, it's still a superhero movie.
Right.
They're gonna market it right. Hopefully, they market it the right way towards like not alienating. Because like you can't. I get the women thing, and you want to market to little girls to get the whole empowerment for girls superheroes, but you also don't want to alienate the boys who are the ones that drag, and that drag their parents to the movie theaters. Like, my daughter was not. Gianna's 9, and she wasn't like, you need to take me to see Civil War, right?
Not at all.
But Suicide Squad came out, and who was on the screen on every trailer and every billboard? Harley Quinn. My daughter, to this day, why haven't I seen Suicide Squad? And I'm like, well,
my
because
daughter
you're 9.
loves it and is trying to get me to see it. I'm trying to avoid it as long as I can.
Exactly. My daughter saw the first Wonder Woman trailer. She's like, you have to take me to see that.
Right.
I have nephews and I have, godsons. Not one of them's like, hey, did you see the Wonder Woman trailer? But guess what they're talking about? They're talking about Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks, but it's just the reality of
life.
Yeah, that's just. Hopefully, this movie changes it. But
yeah, man. We soon shall see. Which leads us to another forgotten lady. And what the bleep happened to the Lady of Rage?
Full disclosure. I have no idea who that is.
Okay, so I rock rough and tough with my Afro puff. Rage, rock on with your bad self. You don't remember this song?
Lady of Rage sounds like a mini boss in a Super Nintendo beat 'em up.
I'm done with you. Lady of Rage was the female MC in the Dog Pound. Now you may know who she is.
I know the Dog Pound. I just don't remember her by name.
I'm not even going to look at you for the rest of this conversation. Lady of Rage. Now, do you remember next Friday?
Yeah.
Do you remember the one, the chick? She know about all the snacks.
Yeah,
all the year 2000
Baby D.
snacks. Big Baby D. That's
her?
Lady of Rage.
I was just quoting her the other day. No, I was. Because my favorite part of that movie is when she's chasing Day Day, and then she gets mad tired, and he's like, here's the cookie. And then she's out of breath, and she's like, yo, Cousin Craig, hook us up. That shit to me to this day cracks me up. All right, now I know who it is.
That's Lady of Rage, who was an MC first. She was actually pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
She had that record that I thought was a big record. I rock rough and tough with my Afro puffs, and she could rap her, butt off. But then she started acting. She was in, I forget what, she was in a TV series. I want to say it was Moesha or something along those lines. And then, next Friday she was in that as well. But now we don't hear from her
Baby
anymore.
D.
Baby D. I can't believe that you know her as Baby D and not.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So did
How you gonna try to hook me up with the little sister that's
It's
bigger than the big sister?
Yeah.
That's big. That's
did
Baby
you
D.
Google her? Or are you letting the
No,
mystery
man,
live?
I don't Google. Zach,
let
you are the
mystery
only one
live.
who does homework on this show. Have you not noticed that?
I do your guys' homework.
I just want to know.
I just know shit.
Did you say that in school?
Right.
Mom, where's your homework?
I just know
shit.
No, just when I got home, like, you have a test tomorrow? I'm like, yep. You gonna study? Nope. Why? I just know shit.
Oh man, you see how well that's worked out for you, right? Anyway,
I would like to know where she's up to now. I haven't seen her in any movies, so
Right.
who knows if she's acting. A lot of times, like, maybe she just, like, settled down, had a family, and she decided she wanted to be a mom
that's
or
a
something.
very good point, man. If you guys know what happened to Lady of Rage, and of course, again, this segment is not to take shots at anyone. We are genuinely interested
Yeah, you're
in
just
these
it's your
people.
curiosity.
It
like,
is not hate. We appreciated their music at
Yeah.
some point. They stopped making it. We
Yeah.
want to know whatever happened to them.
I do that, like, on my spare time when a name like P.D. Pablo pop up. I'm like, holy shit!
Right.
I remember P.D. Pablo. That guy was on top of the world
Right.
for like
A good half a
6
year.
months. Yeah. Whatever happened to him? Then you Google and you're like, oh shit, the guy's still making music and he owns this and he owns that.
Right.
He's doing pretty well for himself.
Right.
Good for P.D. Pablo.
Right.
He's the
Exactly.
centerpiece of one of my favorite 2 Chainz lines of the year on No Problem. Petey Pablo takes shirt off, wave around here like a helicopter. I love that.
Only 2 Chainz can make that whole
Yeah.
story in
Yeah.
one bar.
Did she come out around the time where, like, every group had to have, like, the
Yes.
female? Like,
Yes.
yeah. I remember that
Yes.
movement. The Firm,
Yep. All of
Dog
the,
Pound. What was the name? The Slip Inside.
Oh, there was Trina.
Trina. Then, like, No Limit had, what was it? Mia X.
Mia X was in
Like, everyone had to have, like, the
Mhm.
woman, which is, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, they should participate.
Yeah, man.
But, like, I remember that whole movement where you had to have.
Yeah, Sugar T was a part of not Rap a Lot. What was it? Oh man. What was Be Legit and E40. What was their I forget what the name of their label was. But
Whatever
Sugar
happened
T,
to?
Sugar T was the female rapper in that. Yeah, every crew had to have their female MC represent, and Lady of Rage definitely was that. So
I'm gonna Google it because now I'm curious.
Me too.
yeah, good. See, we'll go get some Lady of Rage love.
Word.
Now the weekend is upon us. What are you listening to?
Zach, go first.
I got a lot of stuff, guys.
Good.
Alicia Keys and Common are both putting out their albums. I'm very excited about both of them based
This
on what I've
weekend?
heard. Yeah.
Damn, that's like I knew Alicia Keys. I didn't know Common.
Yeah.
Black America. Again.
Yeah, this-
and all the
this
songs
album's-
have been very good, very like true to form.
What's the word around the campfire? Is Common going to like old school Common, conscious Common?
Oh, it's super
Yeah.
conscious. Called what is it called again?
It's called Black America again. And
It's all about that.
yeah, and there's
Good.
like 5 songs out, and they're all
Yeah,
really
that
good.
new record was
Dope. Yeah.
insane. I feel like it's more in the vein of like a Glory,
Yeah.
like the Common that is needed at this moment. I'm a big fan of when the artist that we need to speak up speaks up, because the ones who don't need to say anything, Lil Wayne, is the ones, the voices that are the most, projected.
And I'm gonna keep listening to Samus's album, Pieces in Space.
Dude, that album is so.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we talked about Samus, so
Right.
if you guys don't know who she is, she's a nerdcore rapper from upstate New York. She's a PhD grad or student from Cornell, and a huge nerd, and just the
She's
rapping
a
on
huge
this
nerd,
is like
but it's not like
she's continuing to get even better.
and it's not your typical she raps about real life, like
Right,
depression
right,
and
right.
women in the workplace, like real life shit. But her metaphors and a lot of her references are nerdy. But dude, that album, like, there's a song on there called Cubicle that she absolutely like
Burns it down. Yeah.
this, like, she fucking, to just say bars is
Right.
an understatement.
Word.
Like, it's worth you, if you never heard it of her, check her out.
Yeah.
And if you have and you didn't pick up this album because it kind of did come out a little under the radar,
Right.
go listen to it because it's she.
That's a good one. Some
Yeah.
good stuff coming out.
I got even more.
Keep going.
There's a new Otis Redding thing called Live at Whiskey A Go Go. It's 7 different sets recorded over 3 days. it's so cool. Like
Wow.
Otis Redding is one I can put on like 100-song playlist or put
Right.
on, just a bunch of albums and let it go and go, and it could be every day for me. Like I just never get tired.
Is
of
that
him.
on Tidal?
Probably. It's on
Yeah.
Spotify, so
Okay.
I would guess so.
I might be jamming to that this
This
weekend.
title. Oh, I might be getting Spotify soon, actually.
Well, we on Tidal, bro.
I know,
So
but
you-
like, I'm
you'll
the
catch
one who
up.
doesn't have it.
You'll
do
catch
it.
up
But
later.
the only reason I
and
am.
the one you're gonna get is Spotify.
Well, here's why. Because I told you, my wife subscribes to Spotify because she likes to make her word mixes at home at work while she's designing. They just came out with like a promotion that if you pay 15 instead of 10, then you could have it available on 6 devices.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's not a bad deal.
That's not new.
Instead of paying $20 for
You
Tidal,
have a new promotion.
Yeah, I've been
That's
doing
not
that.
new.
Yeah, because
instead of going for Tidal $20 a month for me to check in the Tidal,
It's
maybe 20.
$7.99.
it's
the
10.
Premium,
It's 10 or 20.
It's 10
Oh, okay.
or 20. It's not $20 unless you want hi-fi, whatever.
The
but the other
Spotify
one,
family thing is that's the
See,
the way to go.
stamp of approval,
Stand for approval.
stamp of approval from Zach.
All
We
right.
need to support the black man
I got.
and woman.
I'm hoping my source who got me the Korn album early could get me the Metallica album early,
Oh.
because
good
that
luck.
would absolutely make my month.
Mm-hmm.
They've dropped 3 songs so far, and they've all been fucking. Obviously, I love Metallica, so they've been dope. Especially Monster Flame is like my shit. And I don't know why, but that New Jack City soundtrack, bruh. I don't know. Like,
Really?
yeah, I don't.
Wow.
You know why?
Talk
'Cause
about random.
yesterday, after watching the Cubs game, I was like, I need to watch something to go to sleep. New Jack City was on, and I watched one of my favorite movies ever.
Ever.
But I'm just like, damn, this soundtrack.
Oh no, that soundtrack.
Talk about
is-
underrated. That soundtrack is
I love
hard.
soundtracks. Yeah, I love.
And
soundtracks.
that movie is
is amazing. One
so
of my
good.
favorite Nestle Snipes movies.
I love,
Shout out to
dude. I
Nestle
love that
Snipes.
movie. I feel like that
Word.
movie doesn't get enough love. It does here
Right.
in New York,
In New
but
York.
as a whole in hip hop, like as a movie that displayed like what was going on in the Reagan era here in New York.
And for you millennials, the Carter series of Lil Wayne is not based on his last name. It's based on the building that was in New Jack City. Cash Money Records is based on the Cash Money
Money
Brothers,
Brothers.
which is the crew that ran Harlem in the New Jack City movies. So you millennials should go do some homework and watch and listen to the New Jack City soundtrack.
And Chris Rock was
Wow.
in it when he
Chris
was
Rock was
basically
an
a
amazing
nobody.
crackhead. Ice-T was an
Pookie.
amazing detective.
Judd
Come on,
Nelson's
man.
in it.
That's
Judd
right.
Nelson.
And it's a Mario Van Peebles film.
Yeah, yo,
Come on, man.
that,
That's a great piece
that
of
dude's
cinema.
name. His name used to hold weight.
Mario Van Peebles.
Dude. Yeah. But yeah. Some early Metallica, hopefully New Jack City soundtrack, and I'm definitely gonna see what Common got because it's been hard.
Word.
Yep.
Well, I think by force I'll have to be listening to the new Alicia Keys album because my wife usually dominates the stereo. But I'm definitely listening to the Common album. I'm definitely sitting down and spending more time with Dream Chasers 4.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's of some very good promise there.
I like it.
I like it so far. I'm only like 8 records in.
You said he needs like 3 or 4 good songs, and he's got those.
He's got them
I
within
haven't
the
heard it.
first 5 records.
the first
there's
song is
3 or 4
amazing.
good. Yeah. So Shine is really good.
Mhm.
The record with him and Tory Lanez. I
Yeah,
was not even
yeah.
a Tory Lane fan. I didn't even care that he existed.
I just counted up a Quentin Miller. That's a
Come
QM. That's
on.
a quarter milli.
Come on, love that bar. But anyway, yeah, that's my weekend play. There's some other stuff that came out. Oh man, there's some other mixtapes that dropped that I wanted to check
2
out.
Chainz just put out another good one.
Yeah. What is it? Hibachi for lunch?
Mhm.
Hibachi for
Hibachi
lunch.
for lunch is coming
We
out.
should all be so lucky.
He's on his Shaolin really hard.
Word. But oh no, the ASAP Rock, the ASAP Mob,
ASAP
Mob, yeah.
Cozy tapes.
Mhm.
I want to hear.
That's the one with Yams on the cover.
Well,
His
yeah,
baby
Baby
picture,
Yams on the cover. Yeah, I need to hear that this weekend. It's gonna be a good weekend, man. Some good music out here to check out, y'all.
Word.
All right,
Happy
well-
episode 40, episode Noah Shabib.
Who the heck is Noah Shabib?
You guys don't...
Oh, 40!
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Zach, man. He's bringing the heat. 40, the producer for Drake. Noah,
his
40
name.
Shabib.
Mhm.
I'm thinking players, so I'm just like, did this motherfucker Google somebody and just pick
No,
the
it
most
should be,
obscure?
you
I'm
know?
like, is that a cricket player somewhere?
He's
that wears
on the
number
rap.
40?
Yo, he's hanging in the rap. Listen, bro, that's a great one.
Mhm.
I'm proud of you for that one.
I'll do it
dog.
next time we get episode 40.
Oh, shut up. Goodbye. Peace.
Later.